You're such a good boy. You like your brush? Yeah. You're such a good boy. Hi everyone. I'm going to talk to you tonight about fantasies and how powerful they are. And this is what hypnosis is. You know what, you've heard of hypnosis, the stages where the hypnotist is on stage and he calls up a certain number of people to hypnotize. And he'll call up about 25 people, but only 5 will stay up on the stage because the hypnotist will do a rapid induction test to determine the willingness of the participant to play along. To play along, that's all. Are they willing to play along? And the 5 up there are playing along. And it's an act. It's a stage show. It's an act. But hypnotism is real. And it does have to do with fantasy. It has to do with the imagination. You know, they all of a sudden they're starting to quack like ducks, or think they're having sex on the stage, and they start acting out like they're having sex and everybody's watching. It's very funny. It's hysterical. And there are people that say they have no memory of what they did. So what they do is they're a willing participant to play along with games, but they block out. They black out. It literally is a consciousness blackout for those people, because I have no reason to disbelieve them that they don't remember. But I would say the majority do. It's just imagining. Imagine you are a monkey eating a banana, and then suddenly you have an image in your imagination about that. Well, the power in your imagination, the God-given power we have, is about manifestation from our imaginations. And we don't know about it. And I am here to teach about it. I was a clinical hypnotherapist, and I tapped into a space I wasn't allowed to tap into. And I got myself in all sorts of trouble with the Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association when I was treating depression and anxiety, and it was working just like that. I didn't have the... they said that I'm not allowed to work with people with depression and anxiety. And I just never obeyed that anyway. It works. It works. When you've got a qualified therapist, yeah, I don't know too many out there because they're trained wrong. But when you have a qualified person such as myself who's going to make sure that you're safe, you can go in and you can recover your emotional memories of not only your childhood, but your past lives. Because the images stay with us for an eternity if there's emotion attached to it. We are recording a movie. Our movie is being recorded right now through our eyes, regular eyes, the pupils. You have a reflection. You should have a big old dot, a white light in each eye. Jesus referred to these lights as beams. Oh, that's a nice song right off the bat. So these beams are recording the life you're missing. And earlier tonight, I got a message for myself, and it just lifted my joy heart so much. I got so excited about it. And I thought, could that be true? That yes, because I was doing something goofy with my cat. That's what was happening. I was alone. I was doing something. I was talking weird. I was being funny with my cat. I got nobody else to be funny with. So I'm funny with my cat. And I stood back up, and all of a sudden I got a message that you're going to see that one day. And I turned around quick and I thought, what was that? You're going to see that one day. And then it hit me. Oh my God, I am going to get to watch my movie. It really is us here recording our lives. And that's why when people have died and then came back or whatever, they say their life flashed before their eyes. Well, if you stay dead, it'll be more than a flash. It'll be it. You are creating an imagination here for your afterlife. That's what you're creating. You're creating your imagination for your afterlife. So use your imagination wisely, was the words of Jesus too. We're so lied to about everything. Honey, everything is a lie. And I'm so sorry. I know I'm inconvenient. But we do record our life's journey. We're not here for nothing. We are special people and very, very intelligent. Way more intelligent than Einstein, I promise. The people we're presented with to admire and obey, listen to as wise people, they're all crazy. And I told you in my other videos, the forefathers that are studied in university, they're evil, pure evil, that have thwarted intelligence, taken away intelligence, as much as they took away all our senses. They gave us 5. 5! These senses are important because when you're dead, it came to me, you can have the same smells. You can see your movie with emotional sensory, the opposite. So right now we're using physical sensory and emotional feelings. But on the other side, we are going to have the ability to see everything. I can't tell you how important that is for your rebirth, because I was a human resources manager earlier on in my career, and I also a career counselor. And I was dating a guy in British Columbia there after my divorce, and he was a forestry guy. He was applying for a job in forestry management, and was a firefighter, and he wanted a job in the forestry management. So I told him I would do a video of him being interviewed. So, because it's such a shock for people to actually see themselves, that they really are unaware of their body language, unaware of how they come across to other people. I'm a human behavioral expert. Believe you me, I have observed a lot of people, and you can tell they're totally unaware of how they appear to others and how they affect others. Or maybe some of them do know, and they want to affect them in a negative way. All right, I'm losing my track of thought, so let me go back. Pardon me. It is rather important that I come and stay back on that line of track. I have total brain fog since I had a PCR test. I have blood clots in my neck, and my heart swells up sometimes with a great deal of pain. But it's enough. I don't have to go to the hospital, and I'm not in so much pain constantly that I would, I'm not suffering. I'm just telling you. I was visited by the beings of light, and at the time they were downloading me with the history of the world and my family. They did something with my body, and it felt like hypnosis. It felt like they were doing parts therapy. What I did in hypnosis was use parts therapy. Okay, I just remembered what I was talking about. So I was going to interview this guy with the video recorder, and we sat down at his house at his kitchen table, and I acted as the interviewer, and I gave him real life questions that I knew he would get as the forestry management interview. So it was a very realistic interview. And after he saw it, I saw the video. Like I asked him after the interview, how do you think you did? And he said, I think I did really well. I think I'm going to get that job. Thank you for helping me practice. He was really thrilled with himself. But when he saw himself, he saw how pathetic he was. He said, oh my God. I kept taking my sunglasses off and I crossed my leg over like I was some big cool guy. He was an asshole. He was an arrogant son of a bitch who thought he was the boss in the interview. And that is not at all what he wanted to do or how he wanted to come across. But that is how he came across. And he saw it in his interview. And so what I'm saying is that we're going to see ourselves at death. And we're going to see everything. We're going to see how we were turned into monkeys and what we did. And I think a lot of the emotional masters that believe in our planet and believe in humanity who have come before me have said that turning the will and care of our conscience over to another outside God is hypnosis. It's given it to the hypnotist, and he will snap and command his fingers. Whoever has the script will be able to trigger you. You will, like pornography is sickening, guys. You cannot watch it. You must turn off your violence and your pornography. I swear to God, you will thank me later. You will thank me later. Whatever you're doing and watching, make sure you're okay with it for eternity in your imagination. Okay? Make sure that what you've got in your imagination is something you can laugh about, like me. Now, I know I've got a lot of suffering to look through too in my afterlife. But the difference is I never turn my will over. I never turn my conscience over to another Lord. Ever. Except family. Family that had bad intentions. That weren't honest. And greedy and jealous and all the behaviors that you're taught. They gave up conscience. They have no conscience. If you have conscience, you can't be greedy. You cannot be jealous. You're just not. You love people. You know how they have those animals on TV and they do a certain expression and it's so cute and we all laugh at animal expressions and emotions? We don't do that for people. I do. I do it all the time. I think emotional expressions are the funniest thing on people, and I adore it. I feel love for them. I don't feel mocking them. I'm not making fun of them. In my heart, I am looking at the joy in the unique individual. And they're weird. And that's funny. That's fucking funny sometimes. And it's okay if you have joy out of love. But here, we've been learning mocking. There is no joy. I've been mocked my whole bloody life. You should ask my family. They mock me to death. Everybody, every one of them. Because I'm different. Or I'm easy because I'm generous and I don't see evil in front of me. I can't see the evil. So I have to isolate now. I can't see evil at all. I see a homeless person, I bring him home last January. And they always want to destroy me. Even though usually the homeless help each other. And I was homeless when my family finally just kicked me to the curb completely. And I was homeless and came on the Greyhound bus to Quebec City here. And I know what it's like to be alone and abandoned. And so I was talking to this guy at the store and I said, hey, are you homeless? He has a bike and his weird things and a trailer with it. And he said, yeah. Well, no, he first started to deny it and then he said, yeah. I guess his girlfriend had kicked him out. Well, now I know why, but why do men do that to women? Like he was my son's age. Why would he do that to me? I couldn't see that coming. I thought he wanted a nice house. He got warm meals. He got a beautiful room. This room here that I gave up for him. Got a nice window seat and everything. Walk-in closet. But he destroyed himself here. His imagination about women is retarded. He's got fantasies going on. And you don't have to fuck everybody. And you don't have to think about it at all. But you do because it's presented in the media all the time. And it's making you kind of sick. And if you're going after the animals or kids or bros, I don't know, kids, I don't know. I think that's a real doozy. I really can't see it. I can't see it in our essence. And so I think you're going to want to cast yourselves in hell. I don't think your movie is going to be so great. That's what I got to say. You have to have conscience and not get caught up in fantasy. If you're going to have a fantasy, bloody make sure it's your own and not something you're watching from somebody else. Do you understand? Like, am I getting through to anybody? I'm trying to save you, for Christ's sakes. I'm not trying to hurt you. You know, what you could do with your conscience now, if you're feeling it, and you're wondering, well, what am I going to watch in my movie? Am I going to be a angry zombie who gave nothing and took? Or is it going to show me as a part of God, giving and helping and not taking? But people are so much in fear. I want you to know. Makes you do the unthinkable. And you should know that as God. You should know. Sometimes you are forced into situations that make you do the unthinkable. So what I read, and it made me do the unthinkable in my lifetime, and that's why I know I participated in destroying my own son. And without conscience, you're in a lobotomized state. You're in a hypnotized blackout state, and you don't know what you're doing. Do you understand? So become more aware of your actions. And as you act in your life and go about your life, ask yourself, will I want to see this later? It's the important thing to do. It's the thing you can do. And anybody like me, I had terrible movie in me, but you can turn it around and you can make yourself a hero in your movie. I don't know how. I don't know how your life works out. I don't know how many people you hurt or how many people hurt you. I really don't know. But I do know the feeling for the meek is going to be like, what a fucking relief. What a relief. That's how I've felt the last 5 years. Like, I honestly was the shithead in my head. I'm the one that had to keep running to the doctors because everybody said I was crazy. And I believed them. I drank. I did everything to destroy myself when I was around them. And it was because I believed them. I believed what they were saying about my sensitivity. I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't be sensitive. Well, that is taking away a person's senses and gaslighting her reality. And men have been doing that to women for 2,600 years, and we got to get women back. You need comfort. You need joy. And so understand that we've been robbed. We've been hypnotized. The script started with the fables of Moses. That's a script. That's a hypnotic garden. That's a script for hypnosis right there. And it changes you. It changes you throughout your life to believe in such nonsense. That God would think an eye for an eye, that we would act out like that we're animalistic like that. And if even one part of that story is not true, you must wipe it all out or consider it completely suspect. But nobody has done that. Do you understand? They were able to form 3 religions with it. All of them, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, all read the Old Testament and follow the God of Moses. They believe in the Virgin Mary. She was no virgin. She was enlightened to the spirit of her son, that we don't die, about reincarnation. Constantine took that part out of the Bible in 300s or something, and because it gave the people too much hope, is what the beings of light said to me. And therefore and then Mary, she was taken to Ephesus, Turkey, and beheaded there. She was not taken into exile. She was demonized. She was named Lucifer, the Christ mother. Jesus was just Christ conscious. And he said, like, he was the same as me, same as you, but Christ conscious. It's a mental thing, not a physical thing. He wasn't God. He wasn't God. He didn't die for your sins. Sorry. It's a real bubble popper, and I know I get a lot of enemies because they just don't want to believe it. And it boils down to, what do you want to believe? And that's the truth. You're going to believe what you want to believe. I will believe what I want to believe, but actually the word lie is in the word believe. So I find the whole word believe suspect. I'm not believing fuck all. I'm knowing. You have to know. And the only way you're going to know is to be aware of your conscience and your actions and your behavior in life. Now, if you were hurt and harmed as a child and then you became an abuser, that's typical. That is typical. But when you die alone. You don't have a popular culture with you. And I'm going to tell you, in my consciousness, I wasn't going into blaming my parents. I was going into, what the hell have I done to my son? That's what I did. So I think that's the way it works. Like, I'm not sitting here, like, I wrote the book, Evil Eyes, A Daughter's Memoir. It's at Amazon. It's my story. I wrote that book, and it's gone. All I have is pure love and my emotions are not of anger towards them at all. I'm not angry at anyone in my Christ consciousness. And so that's to let you know, you're not angry at anybody in your Christ consciousness, because you're back to love. But I was suddenly put put into a state of sorrow, deep. It's still here, honey. It's still in me, this sorrow. I have a cut in my heart, and it's deep. It's deep. Because in your Christ consciousness, you realize not what was done to you, but what you did to your child. And we are formed here to neglect our women's intuition, mother's intuition. I had very strong intuition for his first couple of years, and it went away. And then all I could do was go by what I saw in front of me, not by what was hidden. Well, that's a problem for women. That's a problem. But as our eyes are rolling, or Jesus says the beams, the movie will also include the emotional feelings. Because I'm telling you, the only feeling, by the way, I'm talking about is love and sorrow. Sorrow is the seed of love. We don't have fear, and we don't have anger, or any of the negative emotional spectrum at death. That we don't have that. But we have sorrow. And there is a consciousness that tells me that people are so sorrowful over what they've done in the name of Hollywood and watching others and becoming what they watched, that they wipe themselves out. They wipe themselves out somehow. It's too much, and I know it. I can feel it. I loved my son, and in my eyes, I was a good mother, and I did all the right things the best way I knew how. But there was 2 or 3 times in there where I had the opportunity, and I dropped the ball, and that's my pain forever. And yeah, that's my pain forever. And you can't, but you've been taught that you can excuse it away psychologically. You can explain anything away psychologically. That's the evil thing right there. Because you can explain anything away and twist anything into anything, any story in psychology. But emotionally, no. That's our essence. That's love. That's who we are at birth. That's who we are when we go back. You know who you love deeply. If you're estranged from that person, I'm going to ask you to maybe try and repair. Repair any relationship you can while you're alive. You know you love them, but ego gets in the way. The stories get in the way, and petty matters. But this is real life, guys. And I'm here about love and God and my experiences with spirit. It's very difficult to believe, and probably nobody even gets to the end of my videos because I trigger, and I know it. And I'm sorry, but that's my journey. I think that's all for tonight. Please remember, we are our ancestors, our present selves, and we will be reborn again as our future children. But the spirits have told me, especially the suicides, they're not coming back. They have made the decision. So the souls coming back are the ones that want to play evil, I guess. But the ones that want to stay in love, and don't come. And when children are killing themselves now, it's unforgivable to the soul that is creating. And Jesus says, don't judge. Well, judgment is what is destroying each other. Start looking at people with love. Look at their idiosyncrasies with love, with pure love, just like you do the animals. You don't want to watch a sad movie for your eternity. You'll be at the show alone. Your own projector from your beams. We don't die, we go invisible. And we can see what our loved ones do after our deaths. We can see who murdered us, or who lied about us, or who robbed us. Everything is known. Nothing is hidden. That's the message. Don't die in sorrow. Turn the movie around. Turn the projector around. Stop looking at other people now and start observing how you are behaving. Please.